What's up, everybody? It's your boy Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a quick hangout stream. Really just relaxing here on a Thursday. It's summertime for me, about time. I got a couple weeks off between classes, starting pretty much starting today. And got a lot of great things upcoming, a lot to look forward to. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link, man. I think the people definitely drive these streams. I say we got one watching. I'm not sure who it is, but if anyone wants to come on or exclusively on YouTube today, so there we go. Drop the StreamYard link there. You can click that. You can come on in, and we can hang out for a bit. We'll see if we get anybody, but still doing team previews. I'll try to get some out if I can next week. I'm supposed to. So, big news. Taking a trip to Florida to see my family. I'm excited, man. I'm going to do some traveling this summer. I'm excited to see everybody. I'm excited to, just go back home and see my parents, see the dogs, man. I miss those dogs for sure. But let's look at, I want to see if the line has changed for the NFL Hall of Fame game tonight. I'm going to a dinner ceremony, so I'm going to miss it. Some of the game at least. The dinner's before the game starts, so let's see. Do we want to see the spread? I want to see it on ESPN. Hold on. Let's see. It'll load. Oh, this is good. There's two articles by the ESPN staff. The GOAT with no ties allowed at all offensive positions, and then at every defensive position. I'm going to have to save that. That's good. I'm going to have to read those. Okay, here we go. Let's see. What's up, Talk is Pitt? How you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. All right, let's screen share here, and let's take a look at the game that they got tonight. So I wonder if the line, I think the line was 4 the other day when I looked at it. 2.5 Las Vegas. There is no matchup predictor. But Travis Etienne is questionable. James Robinson questionable. So the Jacksonville Jaguars most likely not going to have a run game. But you can count on Trevor Lawrence to throw the football. Backup quarterback C.J. Beathard is questionable as of the other day. Chandler Jones is questionable. Darren Waller is questionable. Micah Kaiser is on injured reserve. That for the Raiders. Who do I expect to win? I already predicted this the other day. I have to go back and see what I said for the score, but I think the Raiders are going to pull this one off. If I pull it off, I'm not saying that to be a jerk, like, oh, they pulled it off, they actually won. It's not like that. I just think they're a better team. I think their playoff chances are better. I think they got better skill players, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs. They just got better rosters, man. I noticed who came off of here for the Raiders. Micah Kaiser is still on there. I don't see Zamir White. I probably want to hit full injury report, though. Talkis Pitt says he's not watching the game. He'll be at the Steelers and Detroit game on the 28th. Well, have fun with that for sure. I watch it. I always want to see the Hall of Fame game to see the inductees get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Plus, I'm just like, whoever. I don't care who's playing. I love a game of football. Why did it take me to every team? Hold on. Let's see. We're getting close to Jayville. Where's Jacksonville? Okay, C.J. Beathard, questionable. James Robinson, questionable. ETN is questionable. ETN won't play in the Hall of Fame game against the Raiders on Thursday. Michael DeRocco of ESPN reports. And why is that? Robinson at least mentions that he has Achilles. He ran routes during a drill at Monday's practice. This was this week. C.J. Beathard has a groin injury. He will not play in the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. So it doesn't say James Robinson. So James Robinson's got to be their running back for this game. If ETN's not going to play, C.J. Beathard, you just have to mention every injury of the team. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence tonight. It should be at least. Good to see him healthy for this game. Let's double check while we got this hold up. I wanted to double check the latest on Tampa Bay because we had Chris Godwin's questionable. He's got a knee injury. Will avoid the PUP list. Has been cleared to begin training camp. Yes, good. I must have missed that the other day, but that's good to hear. Rashad Perriman put out 2 days ago, appeared to pull up short while running a route during individual drills early in Monday's practice and exited the session for good, Joey Knight of the Tampa Bay Times reported. Okay, see you later, Talking Spit. Have a good one, bud. So James Robinson last year had 8 touchdowns, 767 yards, and 164 attempts. And again, he's listed as questionable. He could play tonight. But we'll see. Washington Commanders, although they messed it up with the Steelers logo. Chase Young is out. Cornelius Lucas is out. Tyler Larson, Logan Thomas. And they're just losing everybody. Crazy, man. It's crazy. And I mentioned the NFL Hall of Fame game. I got a close one. I do think the Jaguars defense could step it up a bit. Obviously, not having a guy like ETN is probably going to hurt them. I'm going to say 24-16 Raiders. I still think, it could be 24-17, but like a one possession game in favor of the Raiders. I think they're just the better team, barely. And maybe some might say they're the better team and it's not close. I don't know. This will be on NBC tonight, by the way. At 8 o'clock. Two and a half is the spread. Over under is 30.5. So they expect, they expect a close game. It was 1.5 the other day, actually, and they just raised it. And I'm assuming that's because of the Jacksonville Jaguars injuries. So they're really liking the Raiders tonight. Interesting. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to log into. There we go. Try to log into Hulu. I want to pull up like Sports Center or whatever, see what all the big headlines are. Maybe actually really see because I got an ESPN Plus baseball game right now. The Giants leading the Dodgers. The Giants have just been killing it lately for sure. Let's check the standings here. And again, teams like the Yankees have gone like 5-5 through the last 10. The Giants are killing it over the Dodgers right now. They're 3-7 their last 10. Um, they got a losing streak of 3. Dodgers are on a win streak of 4. Are the Giants, if they're winning in this game, even though it's 2-1 at the end of the third, they're getting a little bit of momentum. No, I want to log into Hulu. What the hell? They have had a bit of a tough stretch. This was a good series. When they beat the Brewers last week, a couple weeks ago, whatever, that's a good stretch to have if you're a team. Right? They're a few games behind to being just above 500. Now, I don't think the Giants are postseason bound, but I think if they could pull away and get like a 55 win percentage or something towards the end of the season, I think that they'd be in good hands. And I think they build off of it. Here you go. Let's see. Schedule. Okay, Hulu's working now. So some games coming up tonight. My Tampa Bay Rays are playing the Detroit Tigers. Almost said the Lions there. You got a game on ESPN Plus. That's the one I want to turn on here. Hold on. The Rockies and the Padres. Rockies broadcast. I don't care which broadcast it is. So it's currently bottom of the second. No score. It's 21's up to pitch for Colorado. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled. 0-2. Grisham is up at the plate. Number 2. Hey, what's up, Sorgy Stories? How you doing? Says go Pat go. I know we ain't playing today, but I'm hyped for football. Me too. Juan Soto and my boy Josh Hader. Ballard got the voice of the broadcast. You know, people say that. I don't know why. I guess I kind of hear it. I appreciate it, though. End of the second. No score with Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres here. I guess I do have that broadcaster voice. I'll drop the link if anyone wants to come on. It feel free to. Let's hang out, man. Let's see. I get it all the time too. I guess it runs in the family. Pops hosted Badgers pregame and broadcasted some football and basketball. All right. Not Badgers, but just announced some minor league and small college games. That's cool, man. That is awesome, Sorgi. So it's the top of the third inning here with the Rockies and the San Diego Padres. Joe Musgrove was the first round draft pick in 2011. Recently signed a 5-year deal, $100 million extension back on Monday. Kyle Freeland of the Rockies signed a 5-year deal, $64.5 million back in April. Here's the pitch from Musgrove, right down the middle. So it's a no score game. It's top of the third inning. 40 pitches for Musgrove. 0-1. And that one just outside. Yeah, dude, I gotta get back to calling some baseball games for you guys. I miss it. I love doing that. I've been so busy with finals for my math class and everything. I've just been having to study, and this one to right field picked up, throws to first base. He's not going to get there. He'll stay safe. Yeah, the stories you get around the house and sometimes on videos are interesting. I appreciate that, man. I think so too. Sports is it's an interesting time to be a sports fan right now for sure. I mean, you got the NFL era that we're in and everything like that. I'll get you on here, Will. It's an interesting time to be a sports fan for sure, I think. And I mean, you got all these quarterbacks in the NFL. You got this offensive era in college football. Baseball's picking up. Speaking of, how about the Braves, Will?
Well, we had a disappointing loss to the Phillies yesterday, and now we have to have a
We did.
5-game series against the Mets in Queens, which is going to be tough.
Yeah. But then you come back home. I'm actually going to a game.
A Braves game or
A Braves, yeah.
you're going to go to Truist Park?
Yeah. My grandmother and I kind of planned out a trip to visit like the Coke Museum and everything and try to go to a Braves game because I've been to Braves games before. Like they took me to one when I was younger, and I've gone to see them at like Disney World for spring training and stuff.
Mm,
So it should be fun. I think it's against the Mets.
good.
Because don't we play them in Queens, and then they come and they play against the Braves at Truist.
That's true, yes. Well, after a
Yeah.
series against the Red Sox and the Marlins, then the Mets come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to play the Schmucks up in Boston for 2 games.
The schmucks.
And then we got to come down to play the Fish down in Miami.
Yeah.
I refer to all most of Miami teams as the Fish. I refer to the Dolphins, the Marlins as the Fish. The Rays are necessarily the Fish too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not happy with that loss to Philly. I really was not happy. But I'm glad we beat them good in the first game. We beat them like 13-1.
Yeah, man.
So now I just found out Georgia's fall camp has now started for football.
Alabama too, man. I think we just started this week as well.
Yeah, Kirby made a 21-minute press conference, and it was a little shorter than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a bit longer. Has Saban said anything since it started?
Not that I've heard of, and I haven't gotten any notifications that he's said anything. But yeah, it did start today. Hold on, 59 minutes ago, CBS 42 put Nick Saban holds press conference as Alabama fall camp starts. So there's something I got to watch later.
Damn, that was a big boom of thunder. Whew.
You got some rainstorms coming through?
Yeah, we got some storms coming. I just lightning struck within 5 miles of your current location. Jeez.
Wow.
Wow. Well, whenever Saban talks, I'd like to hear about it because we'll see what he has to say for this upcoming season because he's had to say a lot.
See, I like sports fans like you. Other sports fans would be like, "Oh, I don't care about Saban. I don't care what he has to say." See, but you're working to be a sportscaster, so you want to hear everybody, right? Pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know I'm a Georgia fan, but I like to hear Saban as well. because
I even listen. I even listen to like Brian Harsin when he has a press conference. I
yeah,
mean, you just got to hear what the coaches are saying so you get an idea for what the teams are going to do this season.
yeah, I'll even listen to Billy Napier down in Gainesville. Even
Actually, I
though
will say I think he's going to be something with Florida. I'm not saying national title wise, but I do think that they, for now, have made the right hire in him.
yeah, that'll be good for their recruiting because they got to be recruiting well.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
Did you know that Georgia did not use the transfer portal this offseason?
Not at all.
No, not at all. All we used were
So I know you
committed.
had guys transferred. That's one thing.
Yeah, but
That's not up to the coach. But you didn't go in and get anybody?
not anybody out of the transfer portal.
Because I know last season you guys picked up like Darion Kendrick from Clemson or
Mm-hmm.
whoever, but
Yeah, we did. And here's the rain.
so I got a top of the third with the Rockies at home plate. Musgrove's thrown 51 pitches so far. He's done pretty good just striking guys out.
Oh, it's Rockies versus Padres.
Padres, yeah.
Rockies are meh. They're okay.
Yeah, they're middle of the line there.
That's kind of the same thing with the Rays. Actually, the Rays are doing pretty well.
Yo, what? Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to share this on Twitter with you real quick, and I want your opinion. So, this guy put out, and I don't know where he's from. Let me see. Let's see where this guy's from. Adam Spencer put out his updated preseason rankings for the SEC as fall camp begins. Now, what stood out to me was what was at number 3. And we're going to look at this together, and I want your thoughts on this.
I really hope he didn't make a stupid choice.
Okay, Adam Spencer. I'll have to do some more research on him. But let's see. Okay, let's start at the bottom. Vandy
Yeah.
at 14. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand having Vandy that low. Missouri makes sense. Auburn,
Yeah.
Mississippi State, Florida,
Yeah.
LSU, South Carolina at 8,
Yeah.
Arkansas at 7, Ole Miss at 6,
Yeah.
Kentucky's at 5, A&M's 4th, Tennessee is number 3. That's what I was going to get at. Georgia, then Alabama. I get Tennessee fans, and I get that maybe it seems like Josh Heupel is getting this program going in the right direction. Especially, like I love that they recruited a 5-star quarterback. Credit to them. I understand that they're doing great things. I don't know if I'd have them number 3. I could have them top 10 and put them somewhere. But I would do Alabama, Georgia. I'd probably go
A&M.
A&M. I'd probably put Arkansas higher than Tennessee. I'd put Ole Miss. They're around somewhere like 7 or 8 for me. Tennessee is.
Where would you put Kentucky?
I still think they're top 10.
Okay.
I'd have to write it down. I don't know how. Let's see. Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Well, maybe not Ole Miss 4.
I'm gonna write this down.
Are you gonna give a list?
Yeah, I'm gonna write down mine. Just
all right. We'll listen for yours because it is kind of hard for me to figure out. I think you go from Alabama to Vandy, and that's it. I mean
I'll just
you
make
go.
a few switches.
I mean, some of these are debatable. Like, there's not a set. Like, you could have Ole Miss at 7 and Arkansas at 6. That's not the issue. The issue I have, I don't know if Tennessee's the third best team in the conference this year.
Nah.
That's the thing.
They'll be like number 2 or number 3 in the SEC East. But number 3 in the conference.
Which would still have them in the top 10. They just would be, as a conference, 5 or 6. I could drop them that low. Just drop them a couple spots. That's it. Put A&M, put Kentucky, at least those 2 teams ahead of them. And maybe they're at 5.
Yeah. You would still put Kentucky over Tennessee.
Man. I don't know. I really don't know about Kentucky, actually.
Me neither.
What's up, Nate?
Nate,
good job on your impersonations this morning.
Did he win?
I don't know who won. I didn't say.
I don't think it was like a contest. I think it was just for fun. 11.
Yeah.
12, 13. Speaking of predictions and stuff, I need to make my Georgia season preview soon. Same thing with my favorite NFL team.
Oh yeah, who's your NFL team again? You're a Falcons?
No, I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. The team we almost beat you guys. We almost did.
Shut up.
I don't dislike the Buccaneers. I just dislike Brady. That's the only person I dislike on the team. That's it.
Yeah.
I still think he's the GOAT.
No, you can't dispute that.
No, I can't. After getting beat up by him for most of the time.
Who would you take tonight between the Raiders and the Jaguars?
Oof. I'd take the Raiders.
I mean, it's so funny that you have to stop and think about taking against Trevor Lawrence, right? But the talent around him is like, well, first off, both of these teams have guys out.
Mm-hmm. They do.
The line is only 2.5.
Only 2.5. Wow.
I mean, the Jaguars are down. I mean, they're not out, but they got 2 running backs. Their top 2 running backs, Travis Etienne and James Robinson, are both questionable for the game. If the Jaguars don't have a run game, they're probably screwed.
Yeah, that's what I think. The Jaguars played a close game with the Falcons last year. Same
was
with
that
the Jets.
late in the season?
Yeah, it was later in the season. The Jets the Falcons beat them by only a touchdown. And the Jets beat them by 5 points.
All right.
So not too bad for the Jets standards that year. Every single spot is incorrect, and you should be ashamed.
You should be ashamed. Alan Spencer replies, "That is fair." Florida at 10 is not familiar territory. Trust me, we will be back to the upper echelon this year. Oh, please.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
This is Big Gator. Hold on. I'm replying. I just put whatever. I'm like, seriously?
Whatever. I would have a lot.
Florida's top 10, but we're fixing to be at the high spot.
I would be like, yeah, you're insane.
This list is, Alabama and Georgia. Okay, I will admit that as programs, it's 1A and 1B right now with Georgia and Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's 1A, 1B. 1 and 2 in the SEC rankings, fine. You got to do 1 through 14. Okay. After that, they can all just fight over it. Because, I mean, everybody else is kind of middle of the road. I don't agree with Tennessee over A&M. Texas A&M is probably third on my list, at least if you want to talk this year's teams, because I think they could be pretty good.
A&M would be third on my list.
Yeah.
Texas A&M. No, I gotta really think. Top 2 is easy. Hold on, I can do bottom 2 as well. Let's see, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, see, then you meet in the middle with your Arkansas and Auburns or whoever.
Where did they rank?
State.
Where did they rank the barn?
12. Only above Missouri and Vanderbilt.
Only above Missouri. Would you agree with that one? Not being biased.
No, I could even rank Auburn above Mississippi State. I could have them at 11.
Yeah, I'd put them over the Cowbells.
Now, when you have to decide if you put them above LSU, Florida, South Carolina, that's a no-no. That those teams are going to be much improved, more so than Auburn is, I think.
Yeah. See, the thing with Auburn last year is they started off well, and then they just collapsed.
And it was the first year for Brian Harsin, and you give him that. What I don't understand is that they got so bad to the point that the fans wanted him gone. Or somebody wanted him gone. There were rumors he was going to get fired because of his first year. And I thought that was ridiculous.
But I thought he would get fired because of his allegations. If you remember what happened.
I heard a lot that he was getting fired over a 6 and 7 or whatever they went.
I mean, for a first-year head coach, I would not do that. I mean, Kirby struggled in his first year as Georgia's head coach, and that's normal.
Alabama lost to ULM in 2007. I didn't hear anybody whining and crying because of Nick Saban.
Yeah, and look at what he's brought now.
Right.
He's probably about to bring another one of those natties.
This year.
What were you saying about?
You said he's fixing to win another natty. I said this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I just kind of jumped a little bit. Another big boom of thunder just happened. Jesus. When I was in Alabama, it was very, very humid. In Tuscaloosa, it was humid. And I saw literally like pretty much everything when I was at the University of Alabama.
In Tuscaloosa? Did you get like an actual campus tour? Did they do that?
Yeah, I saw the quad. I saw Denny Chimes. I even saw Coleman Coliseum, Bryant-Denny Stadium, the baseball stadium. I actually went through the walk.
I even forget the name of the baseball stadium. It's
Sewell Thomas.
Sewell Thomas Field. That's it.
Yeah. I got to see the dugout. I got to see the clubhouse and stuff. They got a very nice clubhouse, is all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, you see all the frat houses and everything too, and
they have big sororities. There is what they have.
Yeah, frat
big
houses.
Sororities. I got to meet Big Al.
You got to meet Big Al? I'm pissed. I haven't done that yet.
You haven't met Big Al?
No.
Oh, hello, Jeff.
Jeff.
Oh,
this is unacceptable.
He's going to want to hear all about it.
Oh my gosh, you met Big
So
Al.
I was so jealous of Will. I
Yeah.
just suffered. I suffered through a whole week of nostalgia pains.
What do you
He
mean,
was
Jeff?
stomping. He was stomping through my memory. He actually even ate in the same cafeteria.
Yeah, Burke.
Yep. You should have gone up to 702 on the east side. I lived in 702 and 704.
Where's me and Big Al?
You got a picture, or
I do.
you trying to find a video? First off, I want to go back and find your Tuscaloosa.
My Tuscaloosa what?
Oh, I found your video of Bryant Denny, but
Yeah, I was like quietly talking.
He saw Bryant Denny, and I know it.
whoa, what is this? Did you steal this, or did you go see the Rolling Stones?
I saw it. That's
Oh
my
my
video.
gosh! So he's been to Tuscaloosa, and last year it says it's from 2021. He saw
Yeah, I was
the
like,
Rolling Stones in concert. Will, oh my dude,
I did a lot in 2021.
I did.
Did you go through the football building, Will, and see all the natties?
Yes, I saw all the trophies. Yep. Where's that
Isn't it
picture I
just
have?
beautiful?
That and
Hold on.
that's and you can tell all the jackasses that come into the streams that say they got 18 fake natties. You can say, "Oh yeah, well I saw them all."
Oh, the Heisman's. There you go. So you got
Yeah,
Ingram, Henry, Smitty, and Young.
And Young. Do you think Bryce
they
will
got
win it
the they
this
got
year or
the they
no?
got the they got the NFL wall where you can check out what teams drafted what players from what year.
Here's me pointing at my favorite team's helmet. Where is it?
It's
This
kind of
one right.
blurry, but I could
It's
imagine.
the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Now,
where's the
Did you get a chance? Did you do anything in Reese Pfeiffer, or did you just walk by Reese Pfeiffer?
Oh no, we were in Reese Pfeiffer pretty much the whole time. I got to see the
Ah, see, Ballard, he was even in my academic building.
There you go.
Reese Pfeiffer's the School of Communications.
Yeah. Oh, the old school crystal ball. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah,
We
that
got
old,
3 of those.
Yep.
you do have a bunch of those, yeah. Well, let me hold on a second.
I kind of
Get
miss the BCS, man.
Here they are.
What does that say? National champions
National championships.
every
All of
year.
them. There's about to be another one added right there.
It'll be right under the 15.
Now, if I had my way, I'd go in there and I would erase that 41,
Yeah.
and I would consider erasing that 73, and would
Okay.
paint 66 and 77 in its place. We'd still
Okay.
have 8. We'd still have 18. I just think we were robbed of 2, and 2 of the 18 are understandably
Like asterisk.
Yeah.
Nice.
There they are.
Yeah, hey Kirby, you only need 2 more of those to break even.
It won't. It'll happen.
Yeah. Okay. Keep dreaming.
Where's Coleman?
Then you got the SEC championship wall.
Oh yeah, I got it too.
Did you ever do the?
There you go.
There they are.
Yeah,
Jesus.
29
all
of them.
the SEC titles.
They're gonna
I
need
like that.
another.
29.
Oh,
29. That's so big, Ballard, that
Yep.
the number 2 and number 3 teams in the conference each have 13. You pick number 2 and number 3 together,
It
and they
still
don't
doesn't
equal.
match. Right.
Still doesn't match the 29. Now tell me, Will, you're a recruit. You're walking through. You see all that.
You don't go crazy.
How do you how do you walk away from that when you see all that?
I didn't.
I mean, you're a recruit, and they want you to come be a part of that. And they say, be a part of our legacy. And you're like, well, every school talks about their legacy. What do you mean legacy? And then Bama goes and shows you the 18, the 29, the Heismans, the Doak Walkers, the Maxwells, the everything that goes along. The 18 rings, the 29 SEC championship rings. I mean, how do you then think, well, you know, I really do want to be. I really would rather play for Tennessee. I mean, come on, you can't stand there and see all that, and he's saying, and Coach Saban saying, look, all you got to do is just, there you go, there's your rings.
There's all the rings. Holy crap!
Yeah, you know who you need to show that picture to?
Who?
Uncle Lou. Because he swore up and down. That there were not 18 rings because they didn't give rings back then. And I said, and I told him, I got after him and I said, don't you ever question me on Alabama history. You can walk in the building and physically see these 18 rings. You can go on YouTube and get a picture or Google and get a picture of these 18 rings. And you're telling me they don't exist? You're lying.
Yeah.
Right.
I admit that too.
I'm trying to find.
Here they are.
I've seen pictures of like old school Bear Bryant rings. He got one for his 315th win here.
Oh, speak of him.
Oh, let's see what you got. Bear Bryant statue. There you go.
There he is.
I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
And then,
all right, the goat himself. So, yeah, man. And of course, behind those statues, you notice the years are our championship seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. There's even one of them that was also a head. There's even one of those statues that was also a head coach at Duke, Wallace Wade.
Wallace Wade, yeah.
Yep.
Wallace Wade Stadium isn't that the name of Duke's football stadium?
Yes, that is exactly right. See, with the whole Bryant Denny, I know the Bryant part, but I'm trying to figure out Denny.
John Denny was the president of the university in the early 1920s.
That's it.
So when the stadium was built, when the Carillon Tower was built, he was the university's president at the time.
Yeah, that's nice.
And of course the saying about Bryant Denny is that if a virgin graduates, a brick will fall out of it. Well, of course, there are no missing bricks. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I spent on that quad.
Yeah.
And the quad was in a way, once I became an upperclassman and started living off campus and driving to class every day instead of living on campus and walking, the quad was kind of out of my way. What do you got there?
Oh, hold on. What is that?
Look who I gave the L.
Who is that? I can't even.
That's Bill O'Brien.
Oh, Bill O'Brien. You should have done that to Pete Golding.
I couldn't find his.
You could give him one finger for me, but anyway.
I couldn't find his.
I remember the quad used to be covered with little gray squirrels.
Yeah.
They were everywhere.
Yeah.
They're like half the size of red squirrels. They're just miniature. They're not much bigger than chipmunks, and they were all over the place.
What else do we have on here?
And just everywhere you looked, you turned around and there were good-looking women.
We also saw the Walk of Champions.
Yes.
And we walked through where the players walk through when they enter Bryant Denny.
Reese Pfeiffer, the School of Communications, I was in there quite a bit. That also used to be, I don't think it currently is, Well, it might be, but it used to be the home of WVUA V91, the radio station, and the Crimson White, which is a student newspaper. It may still be in there. I don't know if it is or not. But Reese Pfeiffer, and then on the west side of the quad, Carmichael, which is like 3 buildings up the street from Reese. That's the School of Education. Those were the 2 academic buildings that I spent probably most of my time in. Then there's a big, real ugly looking rectangular building called 10 TEN, and you actually say the number 10. 10 Hoor, HOOR.
I remember you telling us about this.
Yeah, and that was like generic history, generic English, generic first year foreign language. Like lots of freshman and sophomore classes were there. Until once you get into the buildings that are like Clark, Newberry, Reese Pfeiffer, Carmichael, the education, the buildings that are major centered, those are more or less upperclassmen because you're focused on taking classes in a particular subject or a particular range, and those are all going to be in the same place. You're not going to have your biology and your chemistry labs on opposite corners of the campus. They're going to be in the same building,
Yeah.
Big difference, Will, is that did you walk from Burke to Bryant Denny or from Bryant Denny to Burke?
Well, we didn't. Well, when we went to Bryant Denny to see the tour, I don't think we went straight from Burke. Maybe we did. I'm not sure, but Burke is right by Bryant Denny, though. It's the thing.
Right,
it's like right by there.
The big difference I would tell you is that in between Burke and Bryant Denny, on the side of Bryant Avenue that the stadium and the dorm are on the north side of the street, the area in between those 2 venues is entirely different now than when I was a student in the late 80s. If you had gone into the DeLorean and gone back in time and run into me and I said, hey, let's walk down to the stadium, you would have walked past, first of all, you would have walked past an enormous open field that the band used to practice on that's now a huge parking lot. You would have walked past a brand new dorm that didn't exist when I was there. And then there's a set of academic building or administrative buildings there. And then you get to the sororities, because the sororities are on the Burke side of Bryant Denny. They're all on Colonial and Magnolia Drive in like a U. Of course, you were there in the summer, so there's no, there weren't students there, but that's where they are. The fraternities are way on the other side of campus. They're not even anywhere near the sororities. That was my experience at Georgia. We just flat stupid bumped right into the Kappa Gamma dorm, trying to find a place to park at Stanford Stadium, and God bless those girls, they let us park there. It was amazing. I can't believe they let a carload of Bama students park at their house, but they did. God bless them. Oh, did we lose Will? Are you there, Ballard? Hello, Ballard. Hello, Will.
Yeah.
Hello, Nate the Great. Hello, Will. Hello, Ballard. Hello, Sorgi. JW to anyone. Respond.
I'm back. I'm probably not going to be on here too much longer, but because I got a dinner ceremony to go to tonight. But
We lost Will. Sorgy's still with us in the comments.
Yeah.
You know, Ballard, Nate the Great is in the kind of a stuck situation. We need to be saying some prayers for him.
Can I ask what happened?
Oh yeah, Scott Frost has been all over the radio and all over the media, saying that it's time for the Nebraska fans to come home. That he knows that the Nebraska fans have backed out and they're starting to root for other teams. And he said, you know, we need those two Nebraska. We need the Husker fans to come back to the farm. I'm like, that's you, Nate. That's you, Nate. You need to go back to the farm.
Roll Tide, Ramajama Taylor. What's up?
Roll Tide.
Yeah, if Scott Frost is calling them home.
Come back to the farm. Yep. You watch Nebraska win 7 or 8 games this year, Nate will be right back there. He'll be back there wearing his Husker red.
Yeah, they'll be bowl eligible. He doesn't care if they win the game. He's glad to see him make a bowl appearance. All right, we got Will back.
So sorry about that. My our Wi-Fi went out because of the storm.
Hey, that happens, man. Ours goes out whenever it wants to.
It's like, well, I was listening to Jeff, and then his voice just stopped. I couldn't hear a thing. I was like, what the hell happened?
Right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed University of Alabama.
You know, Will, when you were at Burke, I know you weren't trying to memorize geography or anything like that.
No,
but right next door to Burke is Foster Auditorium.
Okay.
Which is right across where the students park at Burke. And on the other side of that parking lot is Foster Auditorium. That's where the gymnasts used to practice. That's where I met my girlfriend for a couple of years, Penny. It's also where, and in the scene made famous in Forrest Gump, Governor Wallace stood on the steps and told the first few black students trying to get into the university that if they didn't move, he'd run them over with his Cadillac.
I just watched that movie.
Nice.
Yeah, that happened right there. Now, when you were in Burke, and you know, catty corner from Burke is where the natatorium, where the football practice fields, where the baseball field, all that is catty corner from Burke. Okay.
Yeah.
So picture you're at Burke, okay, and you're going to walk catty corner across the street, okay.
All right.
And you get across the street, and instead of going down Bryant Avenue, away from Bryant Denny and towards Coleman Coliseum and towards Sewell Field, you go the other way. You go away from campus, okay?
Okay.
If you go away from campus and you go down that street about 4 blocks, and then you take a left and you go 2 blocks, that's where my father lived for years.
Oh,
so when I talk about how I literally would go down and visit him, and I was only a block or 2 away from the university, and I could go and ride my bike and watch the football team practice during camp and all that, that's what I meant. I mean, I literally was right there on the edge of campus. That's how I became a 10-year-old, 12-year-old fan, or 12-year-old fan of Alabama, growing up in the middle of Illinois, because I had contact with the university, you know.
So you
know,
around when I was 10 and 11 years old, that's when I pretty much became a Georgia fan. So
Ramajama that's cool. He knows exactly where he's talking about. Yeah, Wesley Circle, Ramajammer.
Yeah,
he lived on Wesley Circle, which was part of that area took a little bit, not the full blow, but part of the tornado damage, because the tornado went right down 15th, you know, and Wesley Circle is only like 2 blocks away from 15th. But Yes, Ramen knows right where I'm talking about.
I was born in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, were you actually? Not
Yeah.
Birmingham?
Yeah.
Ballard, you were born in Tuscaloosa?
Yes,
I did
sir.
not know. I did not know that.
All right, what, a Druid City?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to get into too much of the backstory, but it was my mom had me outside the hospital. But yeah,
Oh,
they took me to
okay.
Druid City.
Oh, all sorts of people are born outside of the hospital. There's no shame here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was born in the capital of Georgia, Atlanta,
I haven't been to
but I live in a
Atlanta.
suburb.
I bet it's been 20 years since I've been to Atlanta.
20
Oh.
years.
I've always enjoyed Atlanta when I was there, even though I find it completely frustrating to try to figure out how to get from one place to the other.
Yeah, I know.
But I always enjoy it when I'm there.
What'd you go there for? Do you remember?
Oh, when I was a student at Bama, we'd go over there for concerts. There were all sorts of concerts that were held at the Omni, which got torn down and was turned into Centennial Park
Yeah.
for the Olympics.
Yeah.
The Omni was where the Hawks and the Flames used to play.
Exactly.
I saw Bruce Springsteen there. I saw
Yeah.
U2 there. See, who else did I see? I saw U2, Bruce Springsteen. I saw Ozzy.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw 4 or 5 concerts in Atlanta, and then of course you had to go through Atlanta to go to Athens.
Duh.
And then we would I think maybe 2 or 3 times we might have gone over to Braves games. It was always when the Cubs were there.
Go Braves.
And that was at the old
Turner Field.
God, it was right off the interstate. What was the name of that place? Turner Field, I guess.
Was it Turner Field or Fulton County Stadium?
Fulton County. Because it kind of looked like Busch Stadium in St. Louis. They were almost identical twins.
It did actually. It did look like it.
Yeah, Fulton County, and that was easy to get to because it was literally you just drove off the interstate and you parked right there. I mean,
yeah.
Now getting to the current Brave Stadium is very easy because it's close to my house. Turner Field's a little farther away, so it's harder to get to. But this stadium currently, Truist Park, it's easy to get to, so it's not that big of a deal. Went to 1 game this season.
Let's see how far.
See, I'm used to Chicago. As far as the biggest cities I've ever driven in, Chicago's the biggest city I've ever driven in. And Chicago is, I mean, if you're not familiar with it, of course, it can be confusing because that's the same for anybody anywhere when you're in a place that you're not familiar with. But the basic rule of thumb in Chicago is that the city is laid out in a great big rectangle, really long north-south by really narrow east-west, because you've got Lake Michigan there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's easy to find your coordinates because if you go far enough south, you're going to go to downtown. If you go far enough north, you're going to go into Lincoln Park and Wrigleyville. If you go east, you're going to run into the lake eventually. And if you run west, you'll run into one of the suburbs. So it's easy to coordinate and find your way around in Chicago. That doesn't mean you're going to get there in a hurry. It could take you a long ass time. It's just getting lost. It's not so easy. In Atlanta, they got all these exit lefts. You're supposed to exit left.
Yeah.
Or the road suddenly divides into 3 different new roads. Like all of a sudden the road, for no reason whatsoever, the number of the road changes. And you're like, wait a minute, what the hell? Wait a minute, I was just on 2059 and now all of a sudden I'm on like 65 or 75. What the hell? I didn't
85.
do anything. You know?
Did you ever go to back then it called Phillips Arena? Did you ever go to State Farm Arena, Jeff? In Atlanta?
If I did, I don't remember it. I'm not familiar with it.
Well, it's the Hawks. It's where the Hawks play and where the Atlanta Thrashers played when they were a team.
Okay, no, I know I have not been to that venue.
Okay, because you never saw Blackhawks Thrashers.
No. Now, as far as downtown Atlanta, we did the and we should have devoted more time. We didn't have enough time. We kind of had to rush through it, which kind of spoiled it a little bit. But we did the Coke thing, like the world of Coke, the Coke building there, which I thought was kind of cool. That kind of geeky stuff interests me.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool, and we should have had more time devoted to that. But and like Peachtree Plaza and that kind of area.
Yeah,
but I would be being disingenuous to tell you that I really knew Atlanta, because it's been a long time since I've spent any time in Atlanta. I'll tell you all you want to know about Chicago. I can tell you a lot about Minneapolis and a lot about St. Louis, but I can't tell you much about Atlanta.
At least you don't hate the stadium that looked like Busch Stadium.
No, it was all right. And every time we went there, we always got good seats and they were good prices. And
I'm not
the one
saying
thing about Georgia, all the times I was ever in Atlanta, and our visit to the University of Georgia, every time the people were good.
Okay,
we never ran into jerks ever. I never had a jerk experience in the state of Georgia.
Good. May not be the case today, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it may be that I just got lucky. I don't know. I have no memory or no recollection of going, well, these people are all jerks. I can say that about Louisiana. Half the people I ever dealt with in Baton Rouge or New Orleans were absolute rude, unhelpful, just nasty people. And a completely opposite experience in the state of Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, come down next baseball season when the Cubs come to town. Come to Truist Park for one of the games, or maybe for the entire series. The Braves ended up winning that series.
I've seen the Braves in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them in Atlanta, of course. And I know I probably, I can't say for sure, but I'm sure, I mean, if I went back and figured it all out, I'm sure I've seen them in Chicago too.
Yeah.
But I know I saw them in St. Louis because myself and a couple of buddies in high school, we made a pledge once we got our driver's licenses and got our parents' permission. When you leave my hometown of Springfield, Illinois, and you go south on Interstate 55, the first road sign you see that says St. Louis says St. Louis 99. So that's how far you got to go to St. Louis. Okay. And we made a pledge. We made a pledge that our sophomore, junior years and our senior years, the summers, we would do everything we could. We would try our best to go to every Cardinals homestand and see one game against every different team in the National League. So like if the Cardinals had a homestand and they were hosting Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego, we'd go down like 3 days, 3 games in 10 days and see those 3 teams. And then we'd see Montreal, New York, and Philadelphia. And so we tried to do that. And we didn't do it all in 1 year. I know it took us more than 1 year, but we did eventually see every team in what was then the National League. I do remember that.
Well, the thing with that,
I do remember seeing Hall of Famer and Philadelphia third baseman Mike Schmidt hit a home run. That the St. Louis newspaper the next day said, quote, was last seen traveling in the direction of the state of Illinois, unquote. And Cardinals manager Whitey Herzog said, "It's a good thing the stadium got in the way, otherwise it would have ended up in the river." Unquote.
It would have, because it was such a big stadium.
Yeah, I know this is going to befuddle people, but this is God's honest truth. We would go to a Tuesday night or a Thursday night or a Monday night game, and you could literally walk up to the ticket window at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and for $5 buy a general admission bleacher seat. You could literally sit in a major league ballpark for $5 in the summer of 1982. Minimum wage was $3.65 an hour. So if you had a minimum wage job and you worked 2 hours, you could afford a Major League Baseball ticket.
Yeah.
And all that time, it was me, Doug, and Dan, and the three of us would go down there, and we never once ever rooted for the Cardinals. Every single time we rooted for the visiting team, no matter who it was.
Yeah, because I know how much you hate the Cardinals, just like how much I hate the Mets.
Oh, and I saw Ozzie Smith, but I'm not one of those guys that I'm not one of those guys that doesn't appreciate greatness when I see it. I stood up and cheered as hard as the Cardinal fans did. I saw Ozzie Smith make a play behind second base against the Dodgers that almost defies description. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it was possible. I saw Lou Brock out in the left field run down a ball in the gap that, unless you were like the cartoon Roadrunner, you had no business catching up to that ball, but he did. I saw Mark McGwire in the home run year of 1998. I saw Mark McGwire on May 16th hit his 16th home run of the year off the pitcher wearing uniform number 16, Levon Hernandez of the Florida Marlins, and he hit the St. Louis Post-Dispatch advertising sign in center field. And then the Diamond Vision said that was the third longest home run ever recorded in the history of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Those were times I stood up and cheered for a Cardinal, because when you see something like that, you're just like, I was blessed to be here to see that. When we went to the first time I ever went to Turner Field, or I'm sorry, Will, Fulton County.
That's fine.
First time I went to Fulton County, the Dodgers were in town. And that was Ron Say, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes, Reggie Smith, Dusty Baker, Rick Monday, Steve Yeager, the world champion Dodgers.
Dusty Baker.
These drunk, we were sitting about 10 rows from the field. We weren't behind the Braves dugout along third base. We were further down the left field line, but that's kind of where we were. And like in row two were these two drunk guys, and they were drunk. And the whole game, they were giving Bill, for some reason they had it out for Dodgers shortstop Bill Russell. And I'm like 10 years old. This is like 1976. And they're dropping F-bombs and cussing and everything. And all the fans around are booing up. And finally, about the fifth inning, there come about four big dudes down the aisle that looked like they might have been Falcon offensive linemen. And I would tell you that they escorted these guys out of the stadium, but that would be putting it politely. They drug these dudes out of the stadium. I mean, they come down there. They stood there, and my dad said, "Oh, here's the security guys, Jeff. They're gonna look, Jeff. They're gonna kick these guys out." They stood there and watched and listened to these guys for about 2 minutes. They come down there and put their paws on them, and they yanked them out of that row, and then hauled their ass. And the whole crowd is cheering, going crazy, loving it, And they were like, these big security dudes was not putting up with nothing from these dudes. And I remember this, my dad taught me a valuable lesson that day. He said, I want you to remember this as you're growing up. Now, of course, keep in mind, there's only 30 teams in the major leagues at that time.
Yeah.
There's less than 600 men, 600 in the whole country, that are going to put on a Major League Baseball uniform this year. 600.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the shortstop on the other team might be better than you. There might be 8 other shortstops in the league better than you. You might not even be the best shortstop on your team. You might be the backup.
Yeah.
But here's what you don't do. You don't suck.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody in the show sucks. They're all superior, gifted from God talent. Now, you can compare those talents to their peers, but you can't compare them to the jerks that are sitting in the stands who, after all, paid a ticket to come watch their talent on display. The worst guy on the field is 15 times the athlete of anybody sitting in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
Just like that's what my dad said. I don't want to ever hear you boo a professional athlete or say that he sucks. You can say, yeah, you're not as good as whatever, but don't you ever say they suck, because they are the epitome of the epitome of the epitome of, I mean, they're the sin of 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 the sin.
Well, unfortunately, that's not what happens today. I mean, when Bryce Harper comes to town, we boo him so much because we hate him.
Yeah, they do.
We hate Bryce Harper.
Anybody on the Mets too.
Oh, the Mets too. You want to hear booing? I literally was at the Braves game and we booed him heavily.
Right.
You wouldn't believe, the only time I've ever catcalled or booed anybody wasn't even a player. It was absolute piece of shit umpire Angel Hernandez.
Oh, he sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks.
I lambasted him. I said, "You're just." He actually heard me because he turned around and looked. I said, "You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to the game. Doug Harvey spits on you."
He is a disgrace. He sucks.
You wouldn't believe the crap I hear at iCubs games. AAA. And they'll get on a player. They'll say, "You're getting sent down. You're getting sent down. Hello, AA. Bring AA calling. You're going down. You're getting sent down." I hear that all the time. And I'm like, not one of you idiots could walk out here and even bunt one of these pitches.
Yeah.
And here you are, here you are making fun of these guys that are trying to make it to the pros. And not a one of you can do 1% of what any of these guys can.
You want booing? I'll give you booing. Let's give a warm Atlanta welcome to the New York Mets, and boos erupt all over Truist Park every time. I bet that's the same case for Cubs fans when the Cardinals come to town.
Yeah. Yes. It's different in St. Louis and it's different in Chicago when those two teams are playing each other. That's the crowd is different. You know what I mean? Because that's the rivalry,
Mm-hmm.
And Cardinal fans are insufferably arrogant. unbelievably arrogant. And thank God we finally got the series in 2016, so we can get that. You're never going to win one. We can get rid of that.
Yeah.
5 years apart from when the Cardinals won and then the Cubs won.
Because I know we were watching Game 7 at the Knights Columbus Hall here in Des Moines, and there must have been about 30 of us in there, and had it on 2 different big screens, and of course everybody going for the Cubs.
Of course.
And when they won, it was just pandemonium. And 5 minutes after the pandemonium ended, half of the people, including me, were on their knees with tears in their eyes. And I was like, literally, I admitted, I was like, thank you, God, for blessing me that I lived to see this.
Yeah.
I think of my uncles, my grandparents, my grandpa, who just absolutely bled Cub Blue. And he died in 1994. And so never saw the Cubs in the World Series, win the World Series. I'm like, all these people, and I'm like, finally we're going to see one.
That was the greatest moment of my life. And we beat the Trash Stros, which made it even better.
Now that for you was your first one, but I can remember the Braves winning, in the 90s.
Yeah, 95.
Of course, you weren't alive, Yeah, so.
Hell, Ballard wasn't alive.
What were you, 15 when that happened, Will?
Yes.
Okay, the year I turned 15 would have been 1981, and the World Series champion that year was the New York Yankees beating the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that would have been the World Series when the age you were at when you saw that. When I was your age, that same age, it was the Yankees over the Dodgers. After which the Yankees disappeared for like 12 years.
No, 81 was the. You mean, wait, 81 was the Dodgers over the Yankees.
Was it the Dodgers over the Yankees? Okay.
Yeah. I guess the year before was the Yankees over the Dodgers.
Well, 80 was the Phillies.
Oh, never mind.
79 was the We Are Family. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, everybody, and sing. That was the Pittsburgh Pirates beating the Baltimore Orioles.
The Orioles.
And then 82 was the Cardinals over the Brewers.
Yeah.
83 was the Orioles won it.
Oh, there you go. Finally.
84 was the Tigers over the Padres.
Nice.
85 was the Royals over the Cardinals.
86 was the Mets over the Red Sox.
86 was Will's Mets.
Ew.
Yeah. 87, I think, was the Twins.
The Twins beat the Braves in 91.
Let's see, 87.
Yeah, it was.
80.
It was the Twins. They beat the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You must have liked that one.
That was the and then there was
the Dodgers next.
Let's see. 89 was the World Series. That was the Earthquake World Series.
Oakland win.
When they had the earthquake in Oakland, San Francisco, and the A's beat the Giants.
Oh, that's a nice one.
The World Series was delayed for like a week because of the earthquake. And then
90 was the Reds.
90 the Reds beat the A's. That's the last one the Reds have won was 90.
They suck today. 91 was the Twins over the Braves. And then if I'm correct, 92 was the Blue Jays. Yep, Blue Jays over the Braves.
92, 93 was Toronto back-to-back.
Yeah, Blue Jays beat the Braves, and then Blue Jays beat the Phillies.
And then 94, there wasn't one.
It was canceled.
Yep.
And then 95, the Braves. And then 96 was the Yankees. I can name the World Series champions, I think, except for like maybe 2002, from like 96 to now, except for like 2002. Because I know those ones.
Well, I think, as I was a little boy, I think 71 might have been Baltimore. 72, 73, and 74 was the Oakland A's. 75 was the Reds over the Red Sox.
Nice. Didn't the Reds sweep the Yankees in the World Series too? If I'm correct.
I don't remember the Reds, the big red machine playing the Yankees.
Well, what I do remember is remember when Billy Martin got ejected against the Reds in the World Series? That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was 76. The Reds manager was Sparky Anderson.
Sparky Anderson, yes. Great manager, great baseball mind.
Yeah, Billy Martin.
Reds, let's see. The big red machine was Pete Rose, J.B. Concepcion, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez, Johnny Bench behind the plate, Tuscaloosa, Alabama's George Foster, Cesar Geronimo, and Ken Griffey Sr. in the outfield. That was the big red machine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no way. Did you know in 74 and 75, the Yankees and the Mets had to share Shea Stadium? The Yankees didn't play in Yankee Stadium. They had to remodel Yankee Stadium, and it took 2 years. Why are you listening to the graduation theme, Ballard?
Because my school has something.
Oh, really? Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
They used to. I remember watching the Cubs games on TV when the Cubs were in New York playing the Mets, and always there's nothing the announcers could do about it. There's nothing TV could do about it. It happened during the Mets home games, and it happened during Jets football games.
Yeah.
Shea Stadium was right on the approach to JFK.
Yeah, it was.
So the Jets, literally the commercial jets, would fly over the stadium like at 500 feet. So you'd hear over and over throughout the broadcast.
I can hear that at Citi Field too. At Citi Field, I was watching the Braves Mets games. All I hear just planes coming over from LaGuardia. I think you're thinking of LaGuardia, not JFK.
I think we're gonna leave soon.
And now, where Chicago is, Midway is fairly close to where the Sox play, but it's not on the flight path, so you don't get overflights. And Wrigley and O'Hare are both on the north side, but they're not. You don't overfly Wrigley. It's never. You can look up and see jets, but they don't go right over the top.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like that. St. Louis Lambert Field is way the hell on the other side of the city, so it's not even close. And where the Twins ages ago, where the Twins and the Vikings used to play before the Metrodome was built in 1980.
Yeah.
They played outdoors at the Metropolitan. That was literally on the other side of the interstate from the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. You had Bloomington, Minnesota was dividing line was the interstate, and there sat Metropolitan Stadium. and right on the other side of the interstate was the end of the runways. So
There's not usually planes that fly over Truist Park. Maybe there's like one or two, but not really because we're not by the airport, not by Hartsfield Jackson.
Y'all are having a great conversation. I know my family and I are fixing a lease, and y'all can keep talking, but I'm at least going to end it on YouTube if that's okay.
That's totally fine, Ballard.
Yep. See everyone in the chat later on. We love y'all. Y'all hit the thumbs up on your way out. And until next time, roll tide.
Go Dogs.